Communication 622 colleagues. My name is Heather Abenti. From our readings on organizational behavior, there are two topics that I am truly passionate about. Since I recently spent time researching multiple intelligences theory for another class, I focused my research on this course on emotional intelligence and the relationship between EI, organizational communication, organizational citizenship behaviors, and desirable organizational outcomes. So before we really get started, we're going to look at the definition of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is a scientifically measurable quotient similar to IQ that represents the emotional maturity of a person. It's really important to understand that this is not something that is self-assessed. It's not somebody going, well, I'm emotionally mature. It is scientifically measurable. And Mayer, DePaula, and Salovey in 1990 were the first researchers to really put forth the modern concept of EI in research. And the key to their definition is the accurate assessment of personal emotions and emotions in others, the appropriate expression of personal emotions, and the ability to regulate personal emotions. So in my paper, I put forth the hypothesis that high EI managers will produce more effective organizational communication. This will result in the desirable organizational citizenship behaviors, which ultimately results in a more productive organization that can effectively and efficiently meet the organizational goals and strategic objectives. For the research approach, I did a literature review. This was done beginning with the Mayer, DePaula, and Salovey article of 1990 all the way through current 2017 research on the topic. The focus here was on the overlapping information between emotional intelligence, organizational communication, organizational citizenship behaviors, and organizational outcomes. And the goal of the research was to identify the patterns and establish correlations between these topics. And this is achieved through synthesizing the research on emotional intelligence and organizational communication as it relates to organizational outcomes. Important here to understand is that it required researching all of these topics to find a link between them in order to establish the correlations. So for the results of the research, the results of the literature review found a strong correlation between high emotional intelligence, effective organizational communication, and achieving desired organizational outcomes through the promotion of organizational citizenship behaviors. High EI was found to be directly linked to those organizational citizenship behaviors, and those are the behaviors that promote healthy interaction and healthy outcomes in an organization. Additionally, high EI was also found to result in a reduction of counterproductive work behaviors, which are those behaviors that are intentionally performed to derail organizational process. High EI was also found to be positively linked to decision-making skills, which produce organizational communications that result in positive organizational outcomes. So the end result is that the hypothesis that was put forth in my paper was proven true based on this correlative relationship between emotional intelligence, organizational communication, organizational citizenship behaviors, and organizational success. And it is established through that correlative relationship. The implications for future research are perhaps the most interesting part of this for me. It's really interesting to see that the current research only produces those correlative results. So if A equals B, B equals C, C equals D, D equals E, A must equal E, but there's no direct link between A and E. So academic and workplace real-world research really does need to be done to advance the understanding of this relationship between EI, organizational communication, and desired outcomes. The goal of future research really needs to be to improve the recruiting of high EI managers and teaching HR people how to assess and what to look for to recruit high EI managers, as well as to produce the data to drive the training programs to develop higher EI levels in current managers. The important thing here is that the research really needs to focus on not only getting a hold of those high EI people, but also how we can develop EI in our current employees and managers. And think about the implications of hiring a higher EI manager and then continuing to train and develop that manager in the EI skill. This means that you're going to end up with much higher quality organizational communication and therefore a greater promotion of positive behaviors and a discouragement of counterproductive behaviors, which ultimately is just going to continue to improve the productivity of your organization. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today and to learn a little bit about the current state of research in emotional intelligence and organizational communication and the future implications. Have a great day.